The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Good evening and welcome to the Week 8 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, Jimmy Roy. We got Cassie, we got Ryan, we got Skip, and we got everyone tuning in tonight, whether it's on 104.5 FM, 104.9 FM, 98.1 HD2, your view, or the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. If you're watching tonight on one of the TV options, you can catch that scrolling ticker on the bottom of the screen. It'll give you a complete scoreboard throughout the night, every final score from Thursday night and tonight, and then we'll highlight a couple of those scores throughout the night with our scoreboard by region. Guys, as we get ready to open up Week 8, let's go ahead and start with our opening drive.
Taking you through tonight's top stories. This is Opening Drive on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
Not a whole lot of information out right now, but we'll report from our friends over in Lafayette, KPEL, that one person has died following a homecoming night shooting over on the campus of St. Martin High School. The suspect appears to be in custody at this time, according to multiple reports. The shooting occurred just before the game against Erath was set to start, and I believe from the reports we are seeing, this was outside the stadium, somewhere around the parking lot area. And that's really all the information I have at this time, so I don't want to speculate anything. It's something that I know we saw in last season early on, right down the road, right across the river at the Port Allen game. Something that just, makes you sick. And seeing this here again come up at a high school football game here in the state. You worry about the people around you. You think this is we go to we're constantly over at ball games throughout the week, coaches coaching every single week. It always seems like a place that you can bring the family. I mean, would you ever think you'd be in a situation like that at a hometown football game?
Had one last year at Bogalusa. This one, from the details that I've been told, they have some people trying to confirm some more things for us. There was 3 people shot, 1 dead for sure, possibly 2. It was in a parking lot, like you said. We've heard the game was going to be ruled a no contest. We have some people, and then we heard also that it was going to be played tomorrow at a neutral site with no fans. And I know the St. Martinville people were meeting with superintendents and things. We still have people checking on that to find out what the final decision was.
Elsewhere around the area, back to the football side of things, no easy way to transition there. Thursday night, a game a lot of people were paying attention to. Southern Lab bounces back after a couple of losses. They got a win in a rivalry game over Kentwood, 13-8. And tonight, Belle Chase, one of the 20 teams coming into this week with an undefeated record, and St. Charles hands them their first loss of the season, 14-13. Also, St. Edmund lost. Catholic Point Capee gets the win there.
So, as you guys know, I do these rankings, and St. Charles is in my top 5, and they're 1-5, and 1-6 or whatever.
Yeah,
I get hammered, obviously.
They go 2-5 now.
But that's kind of my point in doing my standings is I'm not looking at the record. I'm looking at who they played. They're a legit team. I mean, Belle Chase is undefeated, and they beat them 14-13. Every one of their games is I don't know how many of them been in overtime. This one almost obviously was in overtime, but those guys over there at St. Charles just do a tremendous job. They coach their kids up, and, it's not surprising that they're in every game. They're young, and they're learning how to win, and I'm glad they pulled one out tonight over a very good Belle Chase team.
Very well coached team, but I'd have to look at the list because I don't think they're a top 5 team, and here's why. They can't score. They cannot score. They win 14-13. Their defense has been outstanding. They've kept them in the game. Their last 2 games went to overtimes. If you take away their overtime points, let's see, they're allowing 11.5 points a game. With overtime, they're averaging 14.3 or 14.8 points a game. There was a game not long ago, throwing the football, they were 4 for 20 for 26 yards. Now, they are playing good competition, but they're going to play that in the playoffs also.
Yeah.
Can the defense and special teams do enough to keep them in those ball games? They're just struggling. They are extremely, and I agree with Todd, extremely well coached. Hell, they've been in 5 straight state championships. Wayne Stein does a great job. Frank Monica has done a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But they're replacing, I think it was 83.8% of their offense from last year. They're replacing 16 starters. So I don't know that they're a top 5 team. Belle Chase going into this, yeah, they were 7-0, but we talked Wednesday. I told you then that St. Charles would beat them. I didn't think it would be this close. You know, Belle Chase's schedule was the 7th worst in the state going into this game. I just don't know if they can get enough offense to win a big game. Now, I think they have another game that they should win going in district, maybe Kenner, is that who it is? Kenner Discovery maybe. And then I think they finish with Shaw. So we'll see what they have when they play Shaw.
I would not want to be the team hosting a playoff game in round 1 with St. Charles.
No.
At this point in time.
I agree with that.
That's a tough spot to be, because this is, where maybe they're you mentioned how the youth of this team, maybe they're hitting a point where things are starting to click, and that's a dangerous spot to go.
And one thing I do not know about them, and Todd may, if he's talked to him, I know he's friends with their defensive coordinator and stuff. I do not know if they have injuries, and that can definitely play a role in things.
Speaking of a 1-point win, and like I said, we'll get to more scores coming up in just a minute. Skip is standing by. Opelousas 28-27 over Cecilia tonight. And was there another one I had as far as close scores are concerned? I think that was the one I had written down. Interesting. I know that that Liberty ball game started very interesting, finished a lot different. Have you ever heard of a team driving that long their opening series?
Yes, Liberty took a 14-0 lead over Central at the half. Liberty's received the football to start the game, took the opening drive, converting 4th downs.
Yeah.
Took the opening drive and went all the way into the second quarter with their opening drive before they took a 7-0 lead. Both teams had 2 possessions in the first half. Central came back, though, and won 35-20. The thing I want to know is when they went up 14-0, was there a time or a situation in that game where Liberty went for it, being up 2 scores, where they could have punted and maybe kept that 14-0 lead instead of getting Central a short field? I do not know that yet.
Well, and why Jimmy asked that question is obviously that's coach's philosophy at Liberty, right? Mm-hmm. He doesn't punt. So that's an interesting question I'd like to know the answer to.
Yeah. I can confirm the St. Martinville-Erath game will not be played.
Gotcha. We appreciate that update. Let's go ahead and get to a couple of scores. We'll go through the Acadiana area, North and Central Louisiana, North Shore, down the Bayou, and New Orleans. But as we do traditionally, we'll start here in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
University High beats Parkview 42-7. Sterling's Catholic 28, East Ascension 14. St. James over Donaldsonville 35-6. Southern Lab 13, Kentwood 8. Santa Maria over Live Oak 35-26. Walker is a 44-24 winner over Dutchtown. Struma defeats West Feliciana 26-9. And Central over Liberty 35-20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. Charles over Belle Chase 14-13. Ennicar 62, Warren Easton 16. Jesuits a 17-10 winner over John Curtis. Riverside over Central Catholic 18-15. Terrebonne over HL Bourgeois 20-7. Hanville defeats East St. John 47-18, and Destrehan shuts out Central Lafourche 41-0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Acadiana over Southside 43-10. Karen Crow defeats Sulphur 26-21. Opelousas is a 28-27 winner over Cecilia. Jennings is a 17-16 winner over Notre Dame. Kaplan shuts out Abbeville 44-0. Vermilion Catholic 50. Opelousas Catholic 21.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Alexandria defeats Ruston 40-36. Parkway over Captain Shreve 52-33. Bunkie blanks Gina 41-0. Neville over Ouachita 41-14. Ouachita Christian defeats Mangum 50-16. Franklin Parish shuts out Grant 53-0. And West Monroe 41, Pineville 13.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Salmon over Slidell 31-14. Mandeville defeats Ponchatoula 34-7. St. Paul 49, North Shore 0. North Lake Christian 46, St. Thomas Aquinas 2. Franklinton 49, Pearl River 40. Covington is a 49-13 winner over Hammond. Jewel Sumner defeats Pine 13-6. And Laranger over Lakeshore 28-21.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Coach Brett Beard from Denham Springs High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. We'll jump on the hotline right now. I believe we have head football coach from Walker, Coach Chad Mahaffey. They get the win tonight, 44-24 over Dutchtown, improving to 5-3 overall, 3-1 inside that very competitive 5-5A district. Coach, congratulations on the win, and thanks so much for joining us tonight.
I appreciate you having us, guys. Thank you.
Coach, really fast start. You score your first play, you get it called back for a holding penalty. A couple plays later, you score on a 38-yard run by Troy Silv. You get a 3-and-out. You score your first play or third play, I think it was, 45-yard touchdown pass. I mean, it was boom, boom, boom. Your third possession, you score on a 65-yard touchdown pass to go up 21-7. Just a really great start for you guys.
Definitely. I thought all phases came out ready to go. And, what I was most proud of was, like you say, we score on the first play and get a penalty. And we've had some penalties that have taken away some really good plays. I feel like these past few weeks. And, we didn't see guys pouting or hanging their head, just kept playing. And that was huge for us.
Hey, man, congratulations on your win. We were talking just before you got on about the field goal at half. That was a really big turning point for you guys, especially going into the halftime with Dutchtown getting the ball. That was a big boost for momentum.
Yeah, I thought just made a bad decision probably to make them re-kick it. That was critical, and, they capitalized on it. Shouldn't have probably given them a chance for any momentum. And but again, I thought what was great for us was we were able to answer on offense, and then get the field goal at the half. Just felt like that was a little 10-point boost right there. That was big.
Chad, it's always go back and doubt yourself after it's done, but I didn't disagree with the call because you'd gotten good field kickoff returns, good field position. It was just a bad break that you did it, and then right after that, you're facing a 3rd and long, and they call a timeout right before the snap, and it goes over your quarterback's head, and they get the timeout, and then you end up converting on it, and it changed the whole complex of the game. But I didn't disagree with your decision. I thought it was a pretty good one. But Coach,
it's just one of those you don't want to give a team a chance for momentum there, and just kind of, hey, let's take the ball. But yeah, we've been big plays on kickoff return. Have a lot of faith in those guys, and wanted to make them kick it, but. In retrospect, didn't work out.
Right. So. Is this the most complete game your team's played this year?
This year, for sure. I mean, we've talked about that, but I feel like we've had one side or the other going, or start or finish going, but just to put it all together, I thought this was the closest we've been, and like I say, still room where, man, just the penalties and things that you can't have, and we got to be better on that. But we had our best week of practice, and you don't always get that coming off 2 losses, and we were glad. I told them at the end, I'm glad they got to feel it, they did the right things throughout the week, and had a big opportunity, and got to get that feeling, of a win on Friday and a big opponent.
It's like, you're glad you got to feel it. Now remember it, right? And keep repeating it for the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, and then they also put it to bed tomorrow and be ready for Denham, So it's a great win. Always want the guys to enjoy it, and then that'll be the next challenge. Is, hey, can we come back and have another week like that? And that's what we're hoping for as coaches always.
Coach, we're honoring our State Farm Student Athletes of the Week, and the representative from Walker this week is offensive lineman Alex Hibbs. Can you tell us a little bit about this young man?
Yeah, Alex, is a kid that's he started at center for us, but he's played, guard and tackle, and he's played a lot recently of kind of a tight end H-back kind of player. So he's a guy that's got to really be able to execute in a bunch of different spots. And so he's been a very valuable member of our team. And he started, really for the last 2 years. I think as a sophomore, he got in there and started some. So tremendous player. And, like I say, obviously a good student with his GPA and all those things as well.
Also want to mention your entire offensive line, 'cause I thought they played really well tonight. Braden, is it Pates? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Braden Pates.
3-year starter, all-district guy for you. Yep. But your offensive line they're big, good-looking group, and you have some depth there.
And it allowed them to get the ball down the field. And I have to ask you before we get you off the phone is, you want to tell us about how that numbering system came about?
Yeah, that's pretty much the most popular question when I run into people. But when they come in as sophomores, we just kind of go by the summer attendance and let guys pick. So if the sophomore made all his workouts and senior missed one, the sophomore will get to pick first. And so some of those guys got numbers as sophomores, and because we've had a lot of good attendance, some of them had the opportunity to really move up where they'd want to be. But one thing I like about Troy is, he had 48 as a sophomore, and then last year he had the opportunity to move. He's like, man, I'm sticking with it, and his coaches were always trying to tell him, man makes the number doesn't make the man. And, I just appreciate his attitude towards it. And, Caden, who's been our most consistent player, running the ball at 94, probably not the number he envisioned wanting to wear, but a little reverse psychology. He's probably got more attention being 94 than anything else. And but again, he's a guy that's he's been a tremendous consistent performer for us and having an outstanding senior season.
Well, Coach, I thought it was a complete, at least first half that we saw. Really good game on your guys' side, and want to congratulate you. Thank you for taking up your time, and want to wish you luck next week against Denham Springs.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
Also, we want to mention as a student athlete that are presented by our State Farm agents, Drew Dillio, Brian Moe, Byron Gill, Mitch Mueller. Dutchtown Student Athlete of the Week was Matthew Travis, plays left tackle, 4.5 GPA for Coach Guy Mastradin.
The one thing coming into this game, and I really feel that coming into the year, the biggest question with Dutchtown, their defense, was their secondary. And I think one of the better play callers in the area when it comes to that is Chad Mahaffey. Yeah. And I think he really kind of exposed Dutchtown's secondary. But sometimes you need that to get better, and that's what is going to take place at Dutchtown. They're going to take this, hey, it's a game, you got to move on, and they're going to learn from it. But when you have wheel routes and things coming free, it's just guys having their eyes in the wrong place. Coach Harrell and Coach Janice, Coach Harrell's on defense, Janice on offense, but they're going to look at that and they're going to make their corrections, and their guys are going to be better for it. And hey, as far as Coach Mahaffey is concerned, it doesn't matter when your team gets better. Well, it does. That's what I'm saying earlier in the year. But when your team starts gelling, you want them to continue that. And week 8 is a really good time have your team to start feeling it all come together.
And that play that Todd was talking about, Walker ran a post. People call it post rail, post wheel, whatever you want to call it. The wheel rail guy came wide open, hit him for a big play. One thing, talking with several people before the game and during the game, Walker threw the football a lot more than what I think Dutchtown was expecting. I even talked to Coach Mastrada before it, and he said as much as Chad likes to throw it, they've been more run-oriented this year. Of course, the coaches in the bleachers and in the stands and in the recliners we're saying the same thing. Where's this offense been? How come they hadn't done this all year? But they've been up and down, but it was a really good win. And Dutchtown they'll get better from it. I said it earlier, going into the last couple of weeks, their schedule didn't really do them any favors. They got the wins. Walker had lost to Sandoval, and I thought Walker was a better team than Sandoval, even though the scoreboard didn't show it. I think Walker's the best team that Dutchtown's played this year so far.
And you're right. When you go back to the beginning of the football game, Coach talked about what's held his team back. You know, that first play is a score, comes back because of the penalty, and now you're thinking, man, we're right back to where we've been. We keep making these plays and keep hurting ourselves. But this time they bounced back, and then they finished a lot stronger. Let's get you caught up. There's a lot more scores to get to tonight. We'll be speaking with a lot more coaches as well, and we'll start first in the capital city.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
U-High over Parkview 42-7. Turlings Catholic defeats East Ascension 28-14. St. James a 35-6 winner over Donaldsonville. Southern Lab defeats Kentwood 13-8. Sandoval is a 35-26 winner over Live Oak. Walker over Dutchtown 44-24. Astruma defeats West Feliciana 26-9. And Central over Liberty 35-20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. Charles over Belle Chase 14-13. Edna Carr 62. Warren Easton 16. Jesuit defeats John Curtis 17-10. Riverside over Central Catholic 18-15. Terrebonne defeats H.L. Bourgeois 20-7. Hanville over East St. John 47-18. And Destrehan shuts out Central Lafourche 41-0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Acadiana over Southside 43-10. Karen Crow defeats Sulphur 26-21. Opelousas over Cecilia 28-27. Jennings over Notre Dame 17-16. Kaplan shuts out Abbeville 44-0. And Vermilion Catholic 50. Opelousas Catholic 21.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Alexandria over Ruston 40-36. Parkway over Captain Shreve 52-33. Bunkie blanks Gina 41-0. Neville over Ouachita 41-14. Ouachita Christian 50. Mangum 16. Franklin Parish shuts out Grant 53-0. And West Monroe 41. Pineville 13.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Salmon 31, Slidell 14. Mandeville 34-7 win over Ponchatoula. St. Paul shuts out North Shore 49-0. North Lake Christian 46. St. Thomas Aquinas 2. Franklinton is a 49-40 winner over Pearl River. Covington defeats Hammond 49-13. Joel Sumner over Pine 13-6. And Laranger defeats Lakeshore 28-21.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Don't have time for cold or flu?
I don't have time for the cold or the flu.
We're here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. When you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't
Covering prep football from West Monroe to West Side. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the weekend edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Time for us to jump back on the hotline. I believe we do have Coach Jimmy Zachary on right now from Opelousas. They get the win tonight, 28-27 over Cecilia inside district play, District 5-4A. Coach, congratulations on the win. Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Man, thank y'all for having me, man.
Hey, Coach, this is a big one. I know y'all's team and their team, they don't have any bad blood or anything. It's just another day in the park for y'all, huh?
Well, yeah, you know, it's a good fun rivalry, man, but it ain't nobody going home, nobody or nothing like that. But ain't nothing wrong with a good fun rivalry, and you know, it put a little icing on the cake after everything that happened last year.
Right.
Coach, in hindsight, has your schedule, which you toughened up a whole lot, has it served its purpose as of yet?
Oh, ain't no doubt about it, man. I thought my guys, man, found the way to win, man. We overcame a lot of adversity tonight, bro, between us making crazy penalties, busted coverages, and them making big plays. We overcame a lot, man, and for those guys to find a way to dig deep, get the stop on the 2-point conversion, man, that was big.
We talked with Coach Zachary the week they played. Zachary, when they were coming in here, and I had some conversations with him. And they had 3 losses at Turlings, Ash, and Zachary, which, oh, by the way, Turlings is 8-0, Ash is 8-0, and Zachary's, 6-1. So there. But he made a comment, Todd, and you can talk about this, Coach Zachary. You made a comment, you made a schedule not to go 10-0, but to win a state championship, and there's a big difference.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, man. I'm always scheduled tough, man. I believe in playing good competition, man, because when you play teams like that, brother, they expose everything, man. They show you where your weaknesses at. They show you where your holes at. They show you who can play and who can't be on the field. So, man, scheduling stuff like that really helped us out, and a game like tonight, it paid off.
So, Cecilia went for 2. Was this late in the game?
Oh, yeah, Cecilia scored. They could have kicked the field goal to tie the game.
How much time left?
A minute and 45 seconds.
Okay.
That's all. A minute and 45 seconds. They scored. They had 27. They could have kicked extra point to tie the game. They decided to go for 2, to go for the win. And we got a big stop on that on the 2-point conversion. We sacked Diesel for about a 15-yard loss.
Coach, I saw y'all play Zachary, and I left there. The score was 0-0, I think it was at half. Just two good teams battling it out. Your team, heck, what they have, 18, 20 starters back from last year. I think 10 on offense. Everybody on your offense is just about seniors.
Right.
Just a good physical, tough type of football that you love to play.
Oh man, I love it, man. I cut my teeth, man. At Union Parish, man, they ran the ball there. I just believe in it, especially being a defensive-minded coach, man. I want to control the game, give the defense rest so they can go out and make plays and get the ball back to the offense, man. And for the most part, we controlled the game, man. I just didn't like how we had a lot of penalties toward the end, busted coverages, man, and all of them was on 3rd and longs, man. So we got to clean that stuff up. But again, as far as the style of play, bro, we controlled the game because we just lined up with no receivers and just ran the ball right at her.
Is there any party going on in Opelousas tonight?
Oh, you better believe it.
Y'all got some Mama's fried chicken over there?
Hey, I'm about to crank up the wagons right now, baby.
You got to go to Mama's fried chicken. You ever been to Opelousas? Got to go try it.
You better come get you some of that good Mama's, man. Come to good cayenne. We got some jambalaya here. We serving these kids right now, man. We're gonna eat good and we're gonna have a good time tonight.
Coach, before we let you go, we want to talk about a few of you guys. Zach Malvo is offensive MVP, or the most valuable player in the state championship game. Deshaun Ford is a big, good-looking running back, getting some offers. Corey Fontenot, I thought I was really impressed with him at Zachary. Jonathan Ford up front. I thought Landon Hammond, your cornerback, he's a long, 6'1", probably 6'2", cornerback that committed to Tulane recently. Corey Amos, Ole Miss committed linebacker. You have some guys.
Man, we have some dudes, man, and the expectation is to go back, man. Again, we come in with the mentality of dome or bust, man. And for those guys, like I said, we expect our guys to make the plays. You're seniors now. We relying on you. We leaning on you. Games like this, you got to rise to the occasion. And for the most part, those guys rose to the occasion.
I said it when they were 1-3. I still think Opelousas wins that division, or will at least be in contention for it. So, Coach, congratulations. Big win for you guys tonight. Again, a 28-27 win over Cecilia. Opelousas moves to 4-3. Cecilia drops to 5-3.
All right. Well, appreciate Coach coming on with us tonight, Coach Jimmy
You
Zachary.
ready to get to that jambalaya and that chicken?
No doubt.
Or start the wagons, one of the three.
We continue looking through the Acadiana area, Jimmy, and Acadiana gets a win tonight over Southside, and I think that kind of gets them in pretty firm lead in 3-5A.
Yeah, Acadiana's just rolling. I thought this game may be a little bit more competitive, but it's 43-10 win. Acadiana, Acaden Diabetta set the school record for over 3,000 yards passing in a career, which is a lot for Acadiana. Yeah, he passed Matt McCullough, who is now his head coach. But Acadiana's throwing the football a whole lot more, not a whole lot more than what they have, but they're throwing the football when they want to and not when they have to. And when you're doing that, running that veer, and you drawing up a couple plays, I think the second play of the game was a trick play type thing that they hit. They hit a big one on the first play against Zachary. They hit a big one in the late in the game against Zachary for the win. They're being able to throw the football and throw it efficient. 43 of 64 going into tonight for Caden with 996 yards and 15 touchdowns. That's pretty effective throwing the football. And, of course, Jonah Gaucher has just been phenomenal.
Charlings Catholic with a big win over EA tonight, 28-14 to remain undefeated. And, I think Charlings Catholic is a lot like Alexandria in a way that I think they're proving that Charlings Catholic, I think, would always have those wins, but they would have a hiccup with St. Thomas More or Notre Dame. Alexandria would always maybe hiccup with maybe a Ruston or a West Monroe. But they're proving that on the big stage they can compete and they belong there. And I think that's hats off to Charlings Catholic and Alexandria.
And a thing that Turlings has done. They're known for spreading the football out and throwing the football down the field. Well, they relying this year on a big old line.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is really, really impressive. They're going almost 300 pounds across the line. They have the Grisham, what's his name, Todd? It's
Grisham.
No, his last name. I have it right here.
Grisham
Perry.
Okay.
Grisham Perry. His dad played at LSU and was a team doctor that passed away earlier in the year. Him and his brother Drake, they're running behind those guys. Dougie Viltz, I think, is the running back for him. He's having a good season.
Dougie Fresh's cousin.
But they're just built. They're built a little bit different this year, and this may be the year they can get over that hump and not have that hiccup that Todd mentions, because they do every single year.
Notre Dame steps outside of district against a tough opponent. I think 7-1. Jennings.
Yeah.
And Jennings gets that 1-point win.
Jennings had lost week 1 to Iowa, I think it was. Won 7 straight. That's their first win over Notre Dame in 15 tries. Wow. 16 tries. Notre Dame was 15-0, so that's their first win for Jennings. It came down to 2 fourth-quarter field goals that Notre Dame missed. One was the last play of the game, I believe, that Jennings got a hand on. 33-yard and a 36-yarder, one missed wide to the left, and one was partially blocked.
A lot of noise out of Iota, Jennings.
They're always good.
Yep. Well, I think they're always good, but I think a little bit more so this year is they're not, slowing down. They're playing good and solid solid football.
Also, Vermilion Catholic continues to roll over Opelousas Catholic. Opelousas Catholic coming in was 5-2. Vermilion Catholic wins 50-21. 33 game win streak now, regular season win streak for Vermilion Catholic.
A couple of touchdowns from Dartes tonight?
I'm sure. Here would be my concern. He's a quarterback he's basically a running back playing quarterback. Going into tonight's game, he had 186 carries on the season. Him and
he's your primary running back and he's your quarterback.
Xavier Ford over at Leesville, they have to be leading the state, and not only rushing yards but attempts per game. You just hope that don't wear you down for the end of the season. Not
in the Acadiana area. We consider them here, but St. Edmund is. And for Catholic Point Capee to go over there and beat St. Edmund or to beat St. Edmund to hand them their first loss, those were 2 undefeated teams. Catholic Point Capee, I think at the beginning of the year I was kind of questioning their schedule, thinking, are they that good? But they've really proven to be a very steady team, very consistent team, and that win last night against St. Edmund was big.
Yeah, Catholic Point Capee jumped out to a 12-0 lead. St. Ed's come back, ran a couple trick plays, got back in it, took a 22-19 lead at half. Catholic High Point Capee's defense, though, got a couple big key stops on 4th down late in the game, threw a shutout in the second inning. Jude Morrison ran for the quarterback for Catholic Point Capee, ran for 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. He rushed up through for 122. St. Edmunds running back Henry Summerlin had 27 carries, 220 yards, 3 touchdowns, but a huge win for Jacob Caruth and put them in control of that 1A district.
Lots more scores to get to. We'll be speaking with a lot more coaches tonight as well as some.
On the way here tonight, guess what's out at the fairgrounds?
Gerald Hall.
Yes, he is. The fair, right?
Yeah, the Greater Baton Rouge State.
So today I had lunch with my buddies. I had it at Fratelli's.
Okay, yeah.
With buddies of mine from Investar Bank, John D'Angelo and Gent Estelle. And so they were talking about Starlet checking and talking about Brock, because on October 28th, they're starting to, if you open an account there with Starlet checking for your 14 to 18-year-old, they're going to put $25 in that account for start off.
Okay.
Here's the thing that I've learned. Brock wants to go to the fair. Brock wants to go to the trading place or card trading place, but he's never asking me for money anymore because he has his own account. So it makes it so easy. So consider Investar Bank and Starlet checking. If you don't want to hear your kids say, hey, can I get some money? Every time they go somewhere, it's worth an account that you need to open because they can take that card. They can go to the trading card show. They can go to the state fair. They don't have to worry about losing cash. It's a great offer that they're doing at Investar Bank. They're putting $25 in, 14 to 18-year-olds, and then once they go to college, it turns into another account. And then once you're at 24 and you get married, it's going to turn into another account. So you start with them and you stay with them, but they're doing it with a little bit of an incentive this time.
So next week's dinner from Fratelli's is on Brock.
It's on Brock.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And Fratelli's was great also.
Man.
We met Giovanni.
We had some left over. We had
Great
a couple
food.
of people here at the office that got to benefit from some of that lasagna. It was fantastic. We appreciate them. So, all right, we'll take a timeout. We'll be right back. We'll do a scoreboard when we return here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Week 8, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacterial, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
U-High over Parkview 42-7. Charlie's Catholic defeats East Ascension 28-14. St. James over Donaldsonville 35-6. Southern Labs 13-8 winner over Kentwood. Sandoval defeats Live Oak 35-26. Walker over Dutchtown 44-24. Stroma defeats West Feliciana 26-9. And Central over Liberty 35-20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. Charles defeats Belle Chase 14-13. Edna Carr 62. Warren Easton 16. Jesuit defeats John Curtis 17-10. Riverside over Central Catholic 18-15. Terrebonne defeats H.L. Bourgeois 20-7. Hanville over East St. John 47-18. And Destrehan blanks Central Lafourche 41-0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Acadiana over Southside 43-10. Crowley defeats Church Point 43-25. Karen Crow over Sulphur 26-21. Opelousas defeats Cecilia 28-27. Jennings over Notre Dame 17-16. Kaplan blanks Abbeville 44-0. Vermilion Catholic over Opelousas Catholic 50-21. And Barb over Lafayette 38-28.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Alexandria over Ruston 40-36. Parkway defeats Captain Shreve 52-33. Bunky and blanks Gina 41-0. Neville over Washita 41-14. Washita Christians a 50-16 winner over Mangum. Franklin Parish blanks Grant 53-0. West Monroe 41, Pineville 13, and Evangel 55, Houghton 27.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Salmon over Slidell 31-14. Mandeville defeats Ponchatoula 34-7. St. Paul blanks North Shore 49-0. North Lake Christian 46, St. Thomas Aquinas 2. Franklinton's a 49-40 winner over Pearl River. Covington defeats Hammond 49-13. Bill Sumner over Pine 13-6. And Laranger over Lakeshore 28-21.
Thank you, Skip. Getting our scores read tonight. And if you're missing something, we got a full statewide scoreboard on the bottom of the screen throughout the night. It's our scoreboard ticker. We'll highlight some scores, as Skip just did, throughout the evening. Going back to Baton Rouge before we take our top of the hour break. And Todd mentioned continues there. The Rebels continue to be undefeated with the win over EA tonight, 28-14. Looking around, how about that Southern Lab, 13-8, Jimmy, over Kentwood?
Yeah, and one of those scores came on a 65-yard kick return for Southern Lab. But that's a old district rival. Southern Lab, Kentwood is going to be like that just about every single time you play. It was played last night at Mumford. Two teams that can contend for the state championship in their divisions.
Either at Mumford or under the water tower over there.
Either one.
Yeah. You've got Sandoval getting the win over Live Oak.
Yeah, that one didn't surprise me. One that kind of did surprise me, not so much that they won, but the score was Ostruma handling West Feliciana pretty good, 26-9. You know, Ostruma picked up 4 transfers that have become eligible. They finally have a quarterback that's doing a little bit, Frank Anderson. It wasn't a case of being out of district or anything. It just took time to get the paperwork. Like Coach said last week, you know, you show up the first day of practice and you don't know who you're going to have. But
he also said vote for Coach Sid Edwards for mayor.
Right. I already did that, so I'm good. But, yeah, that's a good win for Ostruma. U-High and Parkview, Coach Andy Martin, his guys rolled 42-7. No surprise there. You got to remember U-High is going to be getting at least one receiver back. The Bush kid is going to be out for the year with ACL. Zay Martin's getting healthy. Lawson Dixon should be coming back within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully he'll get one game under his belt.
Moses still out?
Before, I didn't know he was.
Okay.
Not that I know of.
Okay. Fair enough.
Not that I know of. But I'm not saying you're wrong for sure.
Central struggled with Liberty, and you mentioned that a little bit earlier. But since we're in Baton Rouge, 35-20.
Yeah, I do want to mention Westside 42-35 over Garrison. And we were talking to Lafayette area a little while ago.
Is there another Westside over there?
I don't know. There better not be
There's a
another
West Gate,
Westside.
not a West
There's
Side.
Oh, that's it. And then Westlake.
Westlake.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lakeside up in Shreveport.
Yeah.
I think Westside's played them.
Sulphur up 21-20 over Karen Crow with 4 seconds left. Karen Crow throws a Hail Mary that's batted up in the air, and they come down with it to get the win over Sulphur.
That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah. Oh, you talk about Baton Rouge area, too. Also, we got to mention Central Catholic last night. They moved to 6-1, 56-14 winner over North Iberville. Yep. Central Catholic jumps out 33-6 halftime lead and controlled the whole game. Camille LaBeouf was really good again. They shut down. They went to a bare front, put everybody up in the box, shut down Chad Elsey, and they turned it over to Camille LaBeouf. He responded with 184 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Nice.
We'll be right back. Hour 2, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, Week 8 edition.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have time to be sick, feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy.
Welcome to Hour 2 of Week 8 on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, your view, and the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Cade Wazan, Jimmy Roy, Todd Black. We are outfitted tonight, as we are every week, by BSN Sports. They're the best supply network in sports, and I've talked about the gear. We've talked about the equipment, but really, I mean, they are the complete, and that's why they're the best. If you go on their website, bsnsports.com, you can get first down markers. You can get shot clocks. As basketball season's coming up, you need a new scoreboard. They can take care of that. The chairs, like Bobby Knight used to toss onto the court, that you can get your school branded on some of those nice cushion chairs for the sidelines. The dry erase boards and clipboards that the coaches need. Stuff for practice. It's all there at BSN Sports. It's really complete.
Matter of fact, I hooked Scott up with Randy Loving at Prairieville, and they have the ability to really just outfit the entire school with whatever they need, from football to volleyball to soccer to wrestling to whatever.
Every sport.
Yep, they're a one-stop shop that can really, I know that's an overused term, but it's literally true with these guys at BSN and Scott Nielsen.
Yeah, I mean, from the uniforms to what you need on the field, it's incredible. Stop by bsnsports.com. Scott Nielsen here in the area is a great resource for us and for teams in the area if you're looking to stay sharp, look sharp, play sharp, the whole 9 yards, right?
I just want to get colder so we can wear our longer sleeve
We had
stuff.
tees.
We got
weekend.
tees last week. Okay, give Brittany Rose a shout out. What's the link to her? Some of the work that she's been doing.
So if you go to 1007thetiger.com on later in the week, each week she goes out to a different high school and they do a pep rally, so to speak, with a different school locally. I'm trying to think of the schools they've done. I know they've been out to Denham Springs, went out to Central, went out to Catholic High, and they go each week, and she'll go. Brittany, who's the afternoon host on 100.7 The Tiger, will go each week, interview coaches, players, cheerleaders, band. It's really a cool experience, bringing a lot of attention to some great schools in the area, and they'll post that video each week at 1007thetiger.com.
She will actually be at Walker High School this coming week.
Okay.
I'm glad to see, other people jumping on board with high school sports around here. I see that somebody, I think Moscona maybe had Elijah Haven on. Nobody wanted to touch high school for a while. We just kind of hung with it and pushed it, and I'm glad everybody. Yeah, we are, but we know where things are special. And
right.
Speaking of special, we thought 77-76 was a score.
Not high enough.
Not high enough. Delta Charter over General Trask, 84-82 in 4 overtimes.
At least that was over.
At least it was 4 overtimes.
4 overtimes.
I wonder what the score was at the end of regulation. That's like the Texas A&M LSU game a few years ago.
You think it'll be like that tomorrow?
I hate to bring that up, Steve. I know you're listening. But
Okay, so I'll say that here we had 77-76 a couple weeks ago with Evangel, and it was Captain Stephen Evangel.
Yeah.
Is it going to stop at 84-82? Is that the highest we go this season?
It's
for combined, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah,
combined, I'm gonna say yes.
But I would have to think that they ran the ball like. I would think the rushing yards are off the chart for this game. I can't see that they were throwing the ball a whole lot.
No, you had 79, I think, scored tonight, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, you had 76 with Madison Prep beating Collegiate
now,
of Baton
you would think
Rouge.
Collegiate, somebody would be nice enough to give them a few points because Collegiate, God bless them, has not scored a point this year. They've been outscored 357 to nothing on the season.
Old format. That's a freaking playoff team.
Man.
Jane Griffin's format. That's a playoff team.
Let's get you caught up on scores. We'll start first in Baton Rouge. That's true. True story.
The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
U-High defeats Parkview 42-7. Sterling's Catholic over East Ascension 28-14. St. James 35, Donaldsonville 6. Southern Lab a 13-8 winner over Kentwood. Santa Maria defeats Live Oak 35-26. Walker over Dutchtown 44-24. Struma defeats West Louisiana 26-9. And Central over Liberty 35-20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. Charles defeats Belle Chase 14-13. Edna Carr 62, Warren Easton 16. Jesuit over John Curtis 17-10. Riverside defeats Central Catholic 18-15. Terrebonne over H.L. Bourgeois 20-7. Hanville beats East St. John 47-18. And Destrehan shuts out Central Lafourche 41-0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Acadiana defeats Southside 43-10. Crowley over Church Point 43-25. Carencro defeats Sulphur 26-21. Opelousas over Cecilia 28-27. Jennings defeats Notre Dame 17-16. Kaplan blanks Abbeville 44-0. Vermilion Catholic over Opelousas Catholic 50-21. And Barb over Lafayette 38-28.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Alexandria defeats Ruston 40-36. Parkway over Captain Tree 52-33. Bunkie over Gina 41-0. Neville defeats Washita 41-14. Washita Christian 50. Mangum 16. Franklin Parish blanks Grant 53-0. West Monroe 41. Pineville 13. And Evangel 55. Taunton 27.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Salmon defeats Slidell 31-14. Mandeville over Ponchatoula 34-7. St. Paul defeats North Shore 49-0. North Lake Christian 46. St. Thomas Aquinas 2. Franklinton defeats Pearl River 49-40. Covington over Hammond 49-13. Bill Sumner defeats Pine 13-6. And Loranger over Lakeshore 28-21.
Thank you, Skip. And we'll have more scores throughout the night. If you are looking for a final, maybe you didn't hear it, we got to highlight a couple of teams, a couple of games in each region. We got a full statewide scoreboard on the ticker on the bottom of the screen. If you're watching on your view, you'll see it, especially also if you're watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Let's go out to New Orleans here and look at a couple of scores. By the way, a couple of websites hadn't reported a final, so if you have, we'll go old school here. If you got a final between Vanderbilt Catholic and Assumption, you can give us a call, 225-499-1045. But looking around, what we saw, we did mention St. Charles getting the better of Belle Chase, 14-13. Carr having no problem over Warren Easton, 62-16. Jesuit, the win over John Curtis tonight, 17-10.
We'll start with Belle Chase, St. Charles again, 14-13. St. Charles, we mentioned it earlier. St. Charles' last two games have been into overtime. They're averaging 14.8. Not counting overtimes, they're only scoring 11.5, but they're only allowing 20 points. 19 points is the most that they've scored in regulation this year. Belle Chase going into it, they were trying to go 7-0 for the first time since 1979, and they were only allowing 7 points a game. I think this tells me a little bit more about Belle Chase being better than I thought they was. I I thought St. Charles would win pretty handily, but it was a good game. Jesuit, again, 17-10 winner over Curtis. Curtis is another team that continues to struggle. They're averaging 17 points a game. They're allowing 11.5. They've only scored over 22 times, and that was against North Shore, which I don't think's won a game, and that was like 27 points, and they scored 26 in one other game. The big thing is they hadn't allowed but 14 points is the most they've allowed since week 1. Their offense just hasn't gotten rolling. You remember they lost their entire offensive line. They have one kid back. They're a whole new starting backfield. Quarterback's new, and they're just kind of struggling a little bit. And Taylor Norton had a couple big touchdown passes to Roman Larry, who's a junior for Jesuit. All of Jesuit's skill guys or receivers and quarterback are all juniors. They're all underclassmen. So Jesuit's playing well. They're not scoring a lot of points, but you go back the week before, they held Carr to a season low of 21 points. And Carr, let me tell you, Carr, they 62-16, as Cade mentioned. Their quarterback starts last night. John Johnson, he's a junior, threw touchdown passes on his first 3 passes of the game. He goes 6 for 6 for 187 yards and 4 touchdowns. Then he's 9 for 9 for 220 yards. He finishes 13 of 17, 311 for 5 touchdowns. Pretty good night.
So we talk about Curtis and we talk about John Jesuit, and it sounded like you were talking about St. Charles Catholic because that's exactly the same kind of
very similar numbers.
So why are you throwing shade on St. Charles Catholic, thinking they're not one of the top 5 when you're not saying that about Jesuit or John Curtis being
I don't think they are either. I don't think Jesuit's a top 5 or John Curtis is a top 5 team. Do you?
It's hard to bet against John Curtis.
It's hard to.
It's like St. Charles.
You got Ash, you got Carr, you got
Acadiana,
Catholic High, St. Thomas More, who struggled early and getting it going offensively now. That's just right off the top of my head.
I just if I'm a gambling man, I just have to say they are, just because.
I mean, history says they're going to be there. Right. And we've mentioned this before, Todd. You look at Carr. Everybody was appointing Carr the state championship before the end of the season last year, and then they go and I think they lost to Curtis actually at the back end of the year, and then lost to Acadiana if I'm right, or if I think I'm right. But how beat up are those teams going to be playing each other? We've brought this up. It's just like the 2-5A district up north. Those teams are going to continue to beat up on each other. We're going to talk next segment about the Ash and Ruston game. Man, what a game.
I would argue with you that Neville's win over Ouachita tonight was more impressive than their win over Ruston last week. Just because I thought Neville was in a good spot to get beat.
Absolutely.
And Ouachita had been playing well.
Yep.
And I think we even talked about it a little bit last week. But Neville came out and they got up 20-0. Ouachita came back and they expanded their lead. And I think that says a lot about them, man. They really are a solid football team.
Is Ash and Neville next week?
I don't know.
Week 10.
I don't know. They don't send updates to the handoff leader holder.
Yeah, that is in Alexandria.
Right.
Who's in Alexandria?
It'll be
week 10.
It's a week 10 game hosted by Alexandria and Neville.
You think you can get somebody in a fire truck to take us up there with the lights on?
Need a helicopter. It'll be interesting to see if Neville can outscore.
I don't know. I think Neville's defense is what's pretty good.
It's good, but
so is their offense.
But Ruston had some opportunities last week in the first half with some receivers running open. Didn't do it in the second half. So
there's another team you have to wonder about how banged up they are. I mean, boy, they played in some tough ball games. Ruston.
Well, we'll talk. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit about that one while we're. So that game went back and forth. Five lead changes. Ash wins it 40-36. Carson Sellers going into tonight is 17 touchdowns now. This kid's a sophomore, first year starting. He's completing 68.2% of his passes, 17 touchdowns going into tonight. I think he had 3 more tonight, 0 interceptions. He threw his first interception tonight. Aiden Anding, the LSU commit for Ruston, got that pick. But Coach Ball talked about his practices the last 2 weeks. He said they hadn't been up to standard. It's like he don't understand why the kids aren't practicing the same way they were. He made them go back into full pads on Wednesday and go 1-on-1 and 2-on-2s and just try to get some more of that energy back that he felt like they've lacked in the last 2 weeks of practice. Now, against Neville, they also had 13 penalties for 127 yards. That's not accustomed to Ruston standards. Neville had a lot of success on third down, going 8 for 12, going through the Twitter tonight looking at it. Carson Sellers and Ash was able to convert on multiple third down attempts. You got to be able to get teams off of the field on third down.
Yep, that'll wear you out, definitely,
Yeah.
especially when it gets down to late in the fourth quarter like it did here against Ash, and it did again last week against Neville. I'm sorry.
JT Lindsey, running back commit to LSU from Ash. He had another big night. I think he had 3 touchdowns.
I think it's going to be interesting.
Good.
The playoffs are going
Yeah.
to be really interesting this year, and especially with Division I non-select and Division I select. I think it's going to be usually. What is it? Division? Is it Division II? That's
It's the one with the 3-4A on the private side that tends to be
up in the air, right?
Yeah.
I think now this year there's going to a lot of ways it can go. You know, there's a lot of good teams out there, and Neville's definitely one of them. Ruston's definitely one of them. Alexandria is definitely one of them on the select side. Carr, Catholic, you mentioned them, Acadiana. There's a lot of good teams that this is a year you'd really like to see them all together playing to see who the best is.
That would be fun.
And a hell of a quarterfinals, I promise you that.
Ooh, from there on, those 3 games in a row. Man, you imagine a Neville, Carr, Acadiana, Catholic, something like, in quarterfinals.
Ruston, Acadiana.
Yeah. Ooh.
Would be fun. And these are very good districts. And just goes to show you, we were talking about Ruston, and I'm not taking away anything from them in their losses, but they were as dominant and they are, but they were as dominant as a team you can get in this state, and playing teams out of state that were strongholds in their state and putting up big numbers on them. And you come up against teams that are right down the street and they're really ready to punch you in the mouth. And now they've lost 2 straight. Now, granted, I know the competition. I'm not taking anything away. It's just, it's crazy how it plays out. That to me, I still think Ruston is just as good.
Yes.
But now you're going through that wear and tear, and you're trying to find that way to bounce. And if you're Ouachita Parish, you're a team. Man, we lost by 3 points in 2 weeks. Like, we're just right there. And Neville comes in and says, "No, we're not taking a step back."
It shows you how good football is in the state of Louisiana. You always hear Texas, Texas, Texas.
Yeah.
Well, Ruston goes over there and beats some pretty good teams, and then come home and loses to teams right here. When you look at it, what Neville and Ash are both 8-0, so 16-0 the teams Ruston's lost to. Nothing to hold your head about. They'll be there at the end, trust me.
We'll take a timeout. We'll be right back. More of Week 8 on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge, and Your View.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person, or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans, burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Don't have time for a stomach virus?
I don't have time to be sick today.
When you're sick after hours or weekends, you don't have time to wait around. Save time and money and feel better faster with Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
At Louisiana Turf Cleaning, our number one priority is athlete safety. We specialize in sanitizing and general cleaning maintenance of artificial turf sports fields. From the constant wear and tear on the field to the bacteria, mold, and viruses that get under those turf fibers, we take care of it all. We also remove any unseen metal in the turf that could potentially cut an athlete. For more information, call me, Kerry Myers, to get a quote today, 504-453-6950. And let Louisiana Turf Cleaning keep your playing surface safe, 504-453-6950.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
Coach Mahaffey from Walker High School, and you're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with Kay, Todd, and Jimmy on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Week 8 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urchin Care. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy. Recapping Week 8 tonight. Don't forget, if you missed anything from tonight's show, interviews with Coach Chad Mahaffey from Walker, Jimmy Zachary from Opelousas. You will hear it tonight on demand at the 104.5 ESPN, at 104.5ESPN.com, the free ESPN Baton Rouge mobile app, or wherever you download podcasts. You can go and listen to those if you missed the Wednesday night show. Let's see. I had that listed. We had Woodlawn, Scott Pellegrin,
and we had Devin Dakota from West Louisiana.
So those are up and available to download or listen.
They went 0-2 this week. They might the coaches might quit answering.
Oh, gee. Let's see.
Bunky. Stay up north a little
Yeah.
bit. Bunky over Gina 40 something and nothing. Bunky moves to 8-0.
Really?
Now, I had kind of said I thought Gina might win this game. I've been told, and I haven't confirmed it, that Gina was missing 10, 11 starters due to sickness that hit the school. I don't know about that, but last year Bunky was in the same situation, 7-0, when they went to Gina, and Gina won.
Did the West Side coach tell you that?
No, somebody a little more reliable than that. But Bunky's played good defense, only allowing 5.7 all year long. The most they've given up in the game was 14 to Todd's favorite team, Winfield.
I think Bucky beat Buckeye last week, throttled them.
Yeah, 64-0.
And Buckeye was undefeated
And
going into that game.
Bunky had the third easiest schedule in their division. So that's kind of why I thought Gina may give them a shot. But if it's true that had some of the guys out, then that maybe that's understandable. Sterlington Bastrop. Anybody seen these? What was the score on that? That was a Downs Brothers game.
Yeah.
Oh.
I ain't seen that score. Let me look, see if I can find it real quick.
I did see Franklin Parish. We
Sterlington
talked about that.
37-22.
Sterlington 37-22?
Yep.
Washita Christian, we're going to try to get Coach Fitu on the air.
Might be past his bedtime.
Do we have him, Ryan? He didn't
Yep.
answer.
All right.
We're trying to get Coach Fitu. What he's done up there at Washita Christian is incredible. They're 7-0 going into the night, playing a good 5-2 Mangum team who just lost at the last seconds to Oak Grove last week.
That sounds like a Superdome matchup.
Yeah. Washita Christian comes into the game. They're averaging 47.6. They're allowing 4 points per game. They had 4 shutouts. It's one of their easier schedules. They always play a difficult schedule, but this year I guess he knew they were going to be young and scheduled that away. The thing that's amazing about them only allowing 4 points a game is they lost 9 starters off of their defense last year. And, you know, he has a staff that he continues to keep there. The continuity is really, really good. We talked to him about that in years past. But for them to come back and lose 15 starters, 9 of them on defense, and have 4 shutouts and only allow 4 points per game is pretty impressive.
You know, I think when you find teams that are at their best, like a Washita Christian, we can go back to the years of Curtis and Neville and Ruston and West Monroe and so forth and so on. I think when they have those margins of victory or they get to a certain point, they play those backups. There are some schools that don't do that. And I think it's really important to get them in there and get that playing time so they can have that experience. And sometimes we talk about meaningful reps, right? You know, putting somebody in it when the score's 35-0 is not as important. It's putting them in maybe 21-0 because there's a little bit more sense of urgency by the kids that they've got to play with. But I'm sure that he does a great job of that, and that probably helps. It doesn't replace 9 starters, but it definitely helps with the experience.
And not only doing it in mass substitution. I love it when a coach will put in their backup quarterback with a starting offensive line or a backup running back with a starting offensive line to give them a chance to have some success where you're not just running ISO up the – you got 2 plays. The head coach tells you, hey, you got 2 plays you can run, and that's all you can do. So we do have Coach Stephen Fitu from Washita Christian. Coach, congratulations on the win.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Coach, I know you wasn't listening to us way up there in the frozen tundra, but we were talking about your defense and how much you had lost from last year, and then here you are, 8-0 again, only allowing 4 points per game with 4 shutouts. That's pretty daggum impressive.
Well, I appreciate it. Our kids. They competed. I'm proud of them. I mean, it is. We had 9 new guys on that side of the ball that several of them at the first year of start as a senior. But, you know, they've waited their turn. They've persevered. And, you know, I just got a tremendous amount of respect for a kid that sticks it out for 4 years of high school football to have that opportunity to start as a senior that when there's no guarantees, but they got to work and earn it. And, you know, so, again, just real proud of them. And Coach Bentley and Coach Sonny Vadrine, you know, worked the schemes on the defense and those guys. And, you know, like I say, the kids, they execute it and just compete. So I was real proud of them.
Coach, we were also talking a little bit about, you know, sometimes I don't think coaches put kids in when they have the opportunity to get meaningful reps. And having kids get experience like last year in games doesn't replace those 9 starters, but it sure helps when they can get in and get those reps and they know what to expect from their coaches.
Well, it does. It does. And I tell you, to be honest, that's one thing that a running clock has hurt, you know, with our 42-point rule. That clock starts running, that cut down some on those meaningful reps because, you know, once you hit 42 points, that clock runs and doesn't stop. And so, you know, you're looking at less than what it used to be. Meaningful reps, but you know it's valuable where they can get a little bit of experience out there on Friday nights and kind of get some of the jitters out and you know, again, just realize, hey, I've got to get bigger and stronger during the off season, to have that opportunity to get out there, realizing, the difference in the speed of the game and stuff.
Tell us about the growth of Luke Virginia, quarterback, being his second-year starter. Huge gap, huge improvements are usually made there.
Yeah, he's doing great. He grew up so much last year during the season. I mean, I think about week 5 last year, against Ouachita is where he took his big jump and really became a confident player. And like I say, just played solid all year after that. And again, he manages the offense well, does what he's supposed to do. This year he came back just a lot stronger physically. Whereas last year, he's really had to put everything into some of the post plays and stuff like that. But it just comes so much more natural for him now that, again, he's just bigger and stronger, and that's made a big difference. But again, he's been in the fire. He understands it, and has a good offensive line up there protecting him, and good running backs and receivers, so that he knows it's not all on his shoulders. It's just he's leading that offense and working within the scheme of our offense. His dad's our offensive coordinator, Drew Badrine, and does a great job of coordinating things and scheming things. And so again, Luke he's just grown up and done a super job.
Coach, I'd like to ask you, you got 2 games remaining with Faraday and Oak Grove. I can't believe we're almost about to go into week 9, but it goes by fast. What is it that you'd like to see your team improve on in the next 2 weeks entering week 11?
Well, our thing is we preach on every day, every week, let's get better today. Seize the day, use every opportunity the Lord gives us to get better, and keep taking a step forward so we're playing our best game in the playoffs yet. And so, on that, it just comes down to the fundamentals of football that let's catch the ball, take care of it, let's make tackles, play our assignments on defense, offensive line, communicate on your combo blocks. And so, again, it's just the fundamentals of the game that we just continue to be solid and dependable and just do what you're supposed to do. You don't got to do everybody's job. Just do your job, be dependable, and give great effort.
Coach, before we let you go, wasn't it Tate Hamby? Wasn't that his name, who did everything for you last year?
Yes.
He signed with Vanderbilt, correct?
That's correct.
Is he getting some playing time?
Well, he's redshirting this year, but he's added about 15 to 18 pounds and doing real well up there. Got team player of the week at times, and he's part of a Vanderbilt team that's making a historical year.
Yes, they are.
They are. But I remember him, he was a high jump champion, I think, in the state. Yeah. He played offense, defense, return kicks, punt. He did it all for him last year.
He did. He was a competitor.
Well, thank you, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you, guys.
All right.
In week 2, Ouachita Christian held General Trask to 0 points. In week 8, General Trask scores 82. So defense pretty strong. But you mentioned they got a lot of shutouts this season, and and some of those games against some really good teams, and some of those games you would expect them to win. But either way, they're playing really good.
You mentioned that, like he said, they played Ouachita last year. They're not playing Ouachita this year,
Jimmy. And this is something that you and I talk about some, and again, I'm going to go back. We've talked to Frank Monica. We've talked to John Curtis. We've talked to Louis Cook. You name the big-time coaches that have had success in this state. And they're all consistent with saying, when you ask them, it's either what makes them successful is they keep things simple or they work on fundamentals.
Yeah.
And I just still think to this day there's a lot of coaches that try to out-scheme people.
They do.
When
everybody's guilty of it. Everybody.
Yeah.
We were guilty of it.
Yep. But when you stick with the fundamentals, it just gets you so much further down the line. And I think from a freshman level all the way up to the varsity level, that's what you've got to preach.
Get great at something instead of being good at a couple things. And he brought up doing your job. Ken Hilton's told us from back in our Redemptor's days, mow your own grass. Take care of your business. Don't worry about your neighbor's yard, what it looks like. Don't worry about what that linebacker's supposed to be doing if you're the strong safety. do your job and everything falls into place.
And I'll give you a perfect example of it. Like with me working with the freshmen over at Dutchtown, they're so used just to blocking the guy in front of them.
Yes.
So when you tell them to block down, they're like, well, holy crap, who's going to block the guy in front of me? And they end up blocking the guy in front of them instead of the guy down because they've never had to trust that guy next to them. And that's where it all boils down to. He said something else, too, about the line communicating. You know, if Jimmy and I are trying to block this guy, I'm going to tell Jimmy, hey, we got him. We'll go back there. Defense don't know what you're talking about. But if you don't make that communication, you don't know what's going to happen. But if I just simply tell Jimmy, hey, we're doubling here to back there, we know what we're doing, and we're going to have success on that block. And you see so many people not doing that, and it gets frustrating.
Also want to mention West Washita up north beat Wassman 34-13. They moved to 7-1. Mike Rainwater's the head coach up there. West Washita has never been 9-1 in regular season, and they have Peabody and Grant left. So there's a really good chance West Washita will end up 9-1.
The Chiefs?
Well,
the Chiefs.
And here's the thing. They're going to end up in Division I, playing somebody, and they're probably not going to win in round one. It's just they're playing in a 4A district, and they're doing well at it. Franklin Parish, I think they lost by 1 or 2. I can't remember that. But, however, they're playing in that division, and it's just going to be tough for them because they just don't have that caliber of player. And that's not being derogatory. They're doing a great job. It's just there's something that needs to be tweaked right there.
A lot of people up in that area will tell you he should have been the next West Monroe coach, and he didn't apply for the job. But a lot of people think really highly of Coach Rainwater up there.
But there's something that's got to be tweaked right there.
With the number, yes, you have to be put in a classification and play it all year. They can't keep doing classifications and divisions. If we're going to go to 4 divisions like we're doing now, 4 and 4, then let's make it just class 4A and down, and go from there. That way you realign your districts. But
eliminate 5.
Yeah, it's not going to be like you can't keep up now with who's and what. I mean, it's hard for us to do, and we do it all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Bonan, for the record, Bonan has said he thinks this state would be better off in 4 classes as opposed to 5.
Yeah.
Keep things a little more balanced across the top.
Well, in Florida, they have classifications. There's 100 schools in a class. We have maybe 50 in a class.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
Yep. And that's not even – and then you break those off in divisions where you have 35 maybe in a division. That 30 or 28 of them make the playoffs, whereas Florida has 100 and only 32 make the playoffs. And that's the way it should be. A third of them should be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have 80% of the teams in the playoffs that's in a division.
No, it makes sense. Make perfect sense. We'll continue the Week 8 edition of Louisiana Prep Scoreboard presented by Lake Urgent Care. Next on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and your view.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Don't have time for a cold? A cut? Those allergies? Or a sprain?
I really don't have time for this.
Lake Urgent Care is here to help with easy, convenient online check-in, virtual visits, or walk-in care. Plus, we're kid-friendly and open 7 days a week, including holidays and weekends. When you don't have the time to be sick or hurt, feel better faster at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 9.
Making the bus ride back home better since 2011. The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. The Capital City Scoreboard, insured by State Farm.
U-High over Parkview 42-7. Turlings Catholic defeats East Ascension 28-14. St. James over Donaldsonville 35-6. Southern Lab defeats Kentwood 13-8. Santamall over Live Oak 35-26. Walker over Dutchtown 44-24. Struma beats West Feliciana 26-9. And Central over Liberty 35-20.
The New Orleans Bayou Scoreboard, presented by Investar Bank.
St. Charles over Belle Chase 14-13. Edna Card 62, Warren Easton 16. Jesuit 17, John Curtis 10. Riverside 18, Central Catholic 15. Terrebonne over H.L. Bourgeois 20-7. Hanville over East St. John 47-18. And Destrehan shuts out Central Lafourche 41-0.
The Acadiana Scoreboard, fueled by frogs at Magnolia Beach.
Acadiana over Southside 43-10. Crowley defeats Church Point 43-25. Carencro over Sulphur 26-21. Opelousas defeats Cecilia 28-27. Jennings over Notre Dame 17-16. Kaplan shuts out Abbeville 44-0. Vermilion Catholic 50, Opelousas Catholic 21, and Barb 38, Lafayette 28.
The North and Central Louisiana Scoreboard, pumped by Peak Performance.
Alexandria over Ruston 40-36. Parkway over Captain Tree 52-33. Bunkie blanks Gina 41-0. Neville 41, Ouachita 14. Ouachita Christian 50, Mangum 16. Franklin Parish blanks Grant 53-0. West Monroe 41, Pineville 13, and Evangel 55, Houghton 27.
The North Shore Scoreboard, connected by Rev.
Salmon over Slidell 31-14. Mandeville defeats Ponchatoula 34-7. St. Paul over North Shore 49-0. North Lake Christian 46. St. Thomas Aquinas 2. Franklinton 49. Pearl River 40. Covington defeats Hammond 49-13. Jill Sumner over Pine 13-6. And La Ranger over Lakeshore 28-21.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Do you think you have COVID-19?
I'm worried I may have COVID.
We're open 7 days a week for both rapid COVID and antibody testing. Life is busy. You don't have time. Get your results fast at Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours.
Hi, I'm John D'Angelo, founder and CEO of Investar Bank. Here at Investar, we're about building lasting relationships, making the right moves, and catering to your needs because you are the heartbeat of our local community. Come on over and experience the Investar difference. Visit us anytime, any place, in person or online. And tell them that John sent you. Fans burgers are ready. Investar. Investar.
Don't have time for a new rash?
I don't have time for this.
We're here to help with convenient virtual visits on your computer or any mobile device. If you don't have
Now back to the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show with Cade, Todd, and Jimmy. Presented by Lake Urgent Care on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge. your view, as well as the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Hard to believe we're wrapping up week 8, week 9 next week, and then we're just one more week after that away from the postseason. So you're going to start crunching some numbers, start really looking at your position in the power rankings before the brackets are released in 2 weeks, and really trying to figure out where you are. And there are some teams that are going to find themselves with some really tough week 1 matchups. We talked about the 2-5As, the 9-5As, and stuff like that. And there's areas where teams that are going up against great competition every week and maybe don't have the best record. Maybe they finish at, 500 or just below, but because of the teams they play, you're going to see them face maybe a team from this area, maybe out in Acadiana or somewhere, maybe New Orleans has a better record, but doesn't know the dogfight they're going to get into in round 1 of the postseason.
Everybody's starting to look at them. I had people calling me on the way to the show tonight wanting to know where their team was going to fall. I'm like, don't even look at it yet. I haven't looked at it. I've looked at strength of schedule a little bit.
I understand you don't even know how to input on a computer.
No, but I can read. I can pull it up.
At least if you do, you play it cool so you don't have to input scores.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who all is number 1 right now. Do you? I haven't looked at it.
No. I think Neville probably is.
I don't know. You think?
Neville, Carr, U-High, it's just off the top of my head. Washita Christian, who would be in
Washita Christian, not because of their strength of schedule. I would say they were down. I would say they're pretty good for Vermilion Catholic's probably number 1.
Yep.
Yeah, I can pull this up. In the meantime, let's go ahead and maybe give out some helmet stickers.
Highlighting tonight's top performers. This is Helmet Stickers on the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show.
Who's up, Cade?
I'll go first this week, and I will award Camille LaBeouf.
Good one.
Quarterback, Central Catholic Bulldogs. On senior night, 184 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns. North Vermilion, who's been a great story this year, didn't completely stop Chad Elsey, but they put a lot of pressure up front. And when they needed their quarterback to get it done in the air, they did. So congratulations to young LaBeouf.
Yeah, I'm gonna give mine to Alexandria Senior High with their back and forth 5 league change win over Ruston. Interesting fact in that game in 2001, Thomas Bachman was the offensive MVP in 5A. The defensive MVP in 5A was Kyle Williams, who was the defensive coordinator at Ruston. So pretty good to see those guys back in. And then also, I want to give another one to Coach Baglio. Last Friday, right before we went on the show, we started getting texts about the accident, and we're not in that business of breaking that kind of thing. We didn't know who all had been notified at that point, but, great career at Independence, great career out at LSU, never met a stranger, started the Louisiana Football Coaches Association. A little fun fact, Marla's old boss, Mr. Tommy Nicotri, Mr. Tommy's daddy, actually, Bags used to work for him in a bar room back in Hammond back in the day, or in Independence, and he paid for Coach Baglio's college tuition.
Really?
So it's a good little story.
Always had a great time when I first started doing this show, when I first moved to Baton Rouge, and we would go check out the games in the Dome, and he was at the LSU coaches suite and would come down and share some stories with us. There's some great memories from that. That's a positive light for somebody that meant a lot to high school football in this state.
All right, so my helmet sticker is going to go to Kamala Harris for saying there's 2 weeks left and she's leaving nothing on the field instead of leaving everything on the field.
You got to leave it all out there.
She's leaving nothing. But I'm going to go with Chad Mahaffey and the Walker Wildcats. I think after back-to-back losses, that was a very big win for that team.
Yeah.
And it puts themselves in a good position to finish the season outright.
Neville is number 1 in the power rankings for non-select Division I. going through. Lutcher is atop Division 2. In Division 3, Erath, St. James, Gina, Oak Grove. I'm just trying to highlight here. Division 4, non-select, South Plaquemines, Jeanerette, DeQuincy. And let's see, I'll go through the select.
Jeanerette lost tonight, by the way, to Covenant Christian.
Haynesville wanted to watch it down there.
Division 1, select, Edna Carr, Catholic, Acadiana. Division 2, U-High, Shaw, Haynes Academy. Division 3, let's see, Dunham Episcopal, Newman. And Division 4, Vermilion Catholic, Catholic Point Capee, Ascension Catholic, Kentwood, St. Edmund. So, yeah.
Happy Halloween, Kate.
Hey, it's just a couple days away. I hope the weather holds up. I've heard some forecasts.
Hadn't rained.
I just want it to get cooler.
Since what, October the 4th?
I know.
It'll rain
Go ahead,
Halloween.
Gil.
We're cooking a jambalaya, having a party at the house.
Are the
LSU
kids coming over?
cheerleader.
No.
You dog sitting?
No.
Oh.
I do have to be at a ball game at 8 o'clock in the morning, though.
All right. Be safe, all you Swifties out there. Big weekend, right? Hey, it is. Big weekend.
Cassie's going?
She's going. My sister went tonight. Everyone, we appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you on Friday for Week 9.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.